Hello, everybody. I always forget to have my other phone out, so sorry about that. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's a Thursday night here in Dallas, Texas. Come on in and let's talk. I want to wait for a few people to come into the chat, hopefully, and I want to talk about missed opportunities. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday night. A lot of stuff going on right now. If you're coming into the broadcast, go ahead and come on in. Don't waste any time because I want to talk about missed opportunities because I want to share something with you that happened to me today. If you see me looking up, it's because I'm looking at my neighbors outside of my window. Looks like they're coming in for spring break. Got luggage and some food. That looks like spring break. All right, if you're out there, come on in because I want to get this chat started because I want to talk about missed opportunities. Okay, I do see that the live is okay. All right, I'm in, so I'm gonna be looking down at my phone. And like I said, I'm gonna be out here looking at my neighbors too, because they're like right right here outside. So they're coming in, looks like for spring break, because I see a lot of luggage and some food and stuff. But I want to talk about missed opportunities. Y'all come on in. If you see Topaz Unleashed, that is me responding. That's my second channel. All right, I'm just gonna give it a few more minutes for a few more people to come in. Actually, if you will excuse me, if you are watching from the sidelines or coming in, go ahead and come on in. I'm going to step away just for a second. Like I said, if you see Topaz Unleash, that's just me. That's my second channel that I have. It's more like my family channel where I have a little bit of my family, church, and everything. All right, I'm going to step into the kitchen for just a second. So if you are here, go ahead and come on in and meet and greet. I'll be right back. Okay, hello again. I still don't see anybody in the chat, but I'm gonna give it a few more minutes, see if anybody comes in, because I have something that I want to talk to you about that happened to me today. It's very interesting too. Been on my mind ever since it happened today. Hope everybody is having a wonderful, blessed day. If everybody, hope everybody's day is going well. I'm gonna give it a few more minutes. Actually, I'm gonna give it about 4 more minutes just to see if anybody's gonna come into the chat. And like I said, I do have a specific topic that I want to talk about. I'm still looking out of my window at my neighbors. It looks like some people, young people, are coming in for spring break, definitely. Just waiting for some people or someone to come into the chat before I start this topic. It is really humid here in Dallas, Texas. I know that much. Whew, Lord, it's humid. We're supposed to get a lot of rain. Okay, remember if you're there, go ahead and come on in so that we can start this chat. I have a specific topic that I would like to discuss, something that actually happened to me today. So I just thought I would get on here and talk about what happened and get your feedback, your vision on it. It's been on my mind, and my church, we've been having this 40 days of prayer, 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. online. And tonight I watched it online, and everybody goes and lays out a prayer card at the altar for yourself or for someone you want to pray for. And I didn't have an actual Coco. Hello, my dear. Just who I need to get your opinion on this. Everybody in my church, we've been putting out prayer cards, and for ourselves and someone we know that's going through something. So we've been putting the prayer cards on the altar. Let me put my glasses on so I can see what you're saying, Coco. I gotta tell you what I experienced today. And you're a good person to be able to discuss this with because you're very vocal and I value your opinion. I'm on StreamYard, so I know that the delay is gonna be a little bit off, but let's see what happens. First of all, I hope you had a great day. Hey, 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 hey. Let me tell you what I saw today. I'm driving down the street. I'm all ears. All right, get ready for this one because I want you to be honest. I'm driving down the street. Now, first of all, let me preface something. Okay, I'm always the type of person that if I see somebody in some type of trouble, whether it be a child, an adult, an animal, that I try to help. Now, I missed my mark today, and I hope I don't start crying because I'm emotional about this. Several times I've missed my mark seeing people on the side of the road going through distress, and I just went on by and went to my house and was like, Lord, I missed another mark to stop and help. I had an opportunity about, well, it was last year that I helped someone. I saw a young lady crying, down the street from me, just sitting on the side of the road crying, and everybody driving by looking. And I did circle back. I didn't have but $2 to give her, and I did that. Come to find out, this young lady was moved here from a different city, uh, had her boyfriend, her child. She went to jail, came back out of jail. The boyfriend had lost the motel room, and Child Protective Services had taken her child. I couldn't help this lady. I couldn't do nothing for this lady but sit there and pray for her. And I had $2 to my name, and I gave her that. And I sat there and prayed with her and shared some things. Now, let me tell you what happened to me today. I'm sitting here driving home the same route now, same street. And I'm gonna be very honest about this, because this all means something. Now, where I live, it's mostly African American and Africans, like meaning like people from Kenya and Sudan and Asian. So very rarely do we see Caucasian people where I live. I'm leaving the store, and I'm gonna be honest. I had went to the store to get a doggone beer, and I'm always seeing someone I'm sneaking out to go get beer, and that's why it touched my heart. So I was like, Lord, I'm gonna sneak them down here and get me some beer, and come on back. I'm coming out of the beer store. I see a Caucasian young lady, maybe about 25, 26, and she stood out because where I live, there are very few Caucasian people, and if they are Caucasian or European, they're maybe like Jewish or something like that, and they come over here to the Aldi's because the Aldi's grocery store has like a lot of the kosher foods and stuff like that. Long story short, I'm coming out this store that I ain't supposed to be coming out of because I went and got beer. I see this Caucasian girl walking. Y'all, she had on some shorts that looked like ladies' underwear, panties, if I can say that. And everybody, because people where I live stand outside the store, and stuff like that. Everybody was like, that girl walked down there. She was walking. And I said, oh, Lord, she don't know where she is, Lord, because she was evidently a prostitute. I said, oh, Lord, she don't know what part of town she is. I said, she done got up over here and got stranded. And I said, she don't know what part of town she in. I was like, oh Lord. So I went on and got in my car and I sat there. And y'all, the what she had on, I promise you, even if you had on your underwear, you were covered up more than she was. And she was walking and had this long ponytail. So she was flicking this ponytail, and that's when I was like, oh Lord, she's a working girl, prostitute. And I said, Lord, no. I said, she don't know what part of town she in. And they doing all this sex trafficking and all this kind of stuff, and it's a lot of drugs, in my area and stuff. And I said, Lord, what do I do? I said, if I pull up next to this girl in the car, the cops probably gonna swoop up out of somewhere and say, what you doing trying to pick her up? And I'm like, no, I'm just trying to tell her, you're in the wrong part of town. You don't want to be here. You don't want to be in no part of town walking with basically less than a bikini on. And it was evident that the girl was on drugs and looking for work. I'm just trying to choose my words carefully. So I got in my car and I crept real slow. And then I'm just like, Lord, okay, what do? I get ready to turn on the street where I'm going. She's still walking and doing her hair, all these moves, and her whole body is out. Like there was nothing left to the imagination. And finally, when I get ready to turn into where I live, I see a white SUV turned up in there to pick her up. And I said, Lord, what do I do? I said, do I go back and turn back around and say, no, please don't get in that car, because over here or anywhere you're going to get sex trafficked, because people are seeing you outwardly at the middle of the day. Because it was before Dr. Phil came on, because when I called myself sneaking out to go get my beer, I was like, let me go and get back before Dr. Phil come on. And to see her out there like that, and I said, Lord, now I said, what if I'm seeing this girl and something happened to this young lady tonight? But I was so scared to stop and approach her too, because sometimes they'll have like the police sting where they'll send people through, and set it up like it's a prostitute. But this girl really was out there. And I said, Lord, what if I'm just pulling over innocently to try to help her and tell her, no, ma'am, Do you need help? Please don't be here or anywhere else, because somebody will pick you up. And next thing you know, you'll be on the news somewhere. And I missed the mark, and she has been on my mind. And I could tell that whatever drug that she was on, she was so into the drug that you could tell it did not matter to her that she would be picked up by anyone and done any kind of way. And I said, Lord, what I'm supposed to do, Lord? I said, I wouldn't even want nobody to do nothing to me in my frame of mind, under the influence of alcohol or beer. And I said, what I'm supposed to do, Lord? I said, but I'm scared to pick her up. What if it's a setup and I pull over to pick her up and try to get her some help and somebody come and harm me? So somebody tell me, what should I have done? Coco, you say, oh Lord, you say, absolutely. I feel the same way. You're a woman by yourself. Never stop at night by yourself. But this was daytime. This was 3 o'clock today. No, actually, it was 2:45, Coco, because it was before Dr. Phil. That's why I know the time frame. So that's why it was so obvious because, she's out there walking like that in the broad daylight with basically no clothes on. Like, I don't even want to say it. And that's why I was like, you know what? If I stop and pick her up and try to help her and get her to a shelter or something, who's to say there's not what do you call it? A pimp or a John or whatever they call it these days. I don't know. I'm in my 50s, so I don't know. Whatever they call it, where if they're sex trafficking a woman, they'll just put her on the street and then they'll follow her. So I was like, well, Lord, what am I supposed to do? What if I pull over here to help her and then some person that's managing this poor girl pull up beside me and then shoot me? Because if they got a young girl out there working like that, they don't give a darn who they harm. And that's why I was like, I don't know what to do, Lord. But it's been on my mind because I'm feeling like, what if I see this girl on the news tonight? I don't know what to do. You said if she was already on influences, nothing you could do but pay for her and remember exactly what you saw. So if something happened, you'll be able to tell. This is you know what I feel like I wanted to do? I felt like what I should have done was pull my car over, got out of my car and walked a certain distance, and then been like, ma'am, do you need help? And of course, she's under the influence. She's like, well, whatever, whatever. I just should have like said, okay, well, look, get in the car. I won't harm you. I can take you where you can get help. And I should have drove her to my church because my church is less than 10 minutes away. And like I said, I don't know if somebody would have harmed me too, if it would have been a setup or some person that was managing her. I just did not know what to do. But something was just on my spirit to help this young lady. And I felt like I didn't do enough today. I really felt like she wanted to be helped. It looked to me, to be honest, like she got stranded and like she had no clue where she got stranded. Like if somebody drop you off in a certain part of town and say, here, get up out there. That's the way she was walking out there, because if she knew where she was, no, she wouldn't have been doing that. Pay attention to her, right? That's what I'm saying. Whew, I don't know. I feel like Coco, I missed the mark today because she's been on my mind. And I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like, to be honest, like she's not even from Dallas. Like it's weird. We could tell who Dallas people are, which is crazy because we have a lot of people that transplant themselves in Dallas that come from all walks of life. And I don't know. It was just weird. Like I should have helped this girl and saved her life and just like took her straight to the church or got her and ran to my house and put something on her to cover her body and then try to get her somewhere for help. I just feel like I missed the mark on saving somebody's life. Don't beat yourself up about it. If it was something you could have done, it would have been done. She was on your mind because we're not used to seeing stuff like that. Actually, over here where I live, I do see stuff like that. And that's why I feel like I missed the mark because I see it so many times. Don't ever bring them to your home. No, I learned the hard way. I'm tell you a story. Let me go and give you a real good story time. So you can see how volatile I used to be. I had just moved 4 years ago to the place that I'm living now. And once again, why do these stores always involve when I'm sneaking out? I ain't supposed to be doing stuff. Actually, I snuck out the night of New Year's Eve, and I said, "Well, Lord, I'm not gonna drink nothing. I don't need no wine, no champagne." Then at the last minute, I said, "Yes, I do." I said, "I'm gonna have me a cold beer." So I sneak out real quick, and I say, "Well, hey, you're not gonna have any liquor and all that stuff. You're not gonna be, inebriated and all that." I said, "Go on, sneak out, get you one little old cold beer, $2 beer. Come on in there and eat your little food, 'cause I'm greedy, and go on and lay up for the new year." So here I go sneaking out again. So I'm scary anyway. So I snuck out. Same doggone store. That tells me something too. Same doggone store. Always some crap happening. I get my butt down there to that store. I'm coming out. First of all, I see some man standing out there. He looking at me. I'm looking at him like, "Oh, you want to challenge me? Okay, well, we're gonna do what we need to do tonight," because I'm trying to make it to the New Year's in the next few hours. So, okay, you do you and you do me, but don't touch me. So I'm looking at him, he looking at me, and I'm looking at him. So long story short, I go up in that doggone store. I come out, there is some lady out here. He out there tussling with the lady. And I said, ma'am, are you okay? You okay? She's like, "Yeah, I'm okay, I'm okay." So she starts walking real fast. So I jump on up in my car because I'm real scary anyway, scared city. So I jump on up in the car and I pull out by the road, and the lady walking, and then he walking behind her. And I just jumped down and I said, "Ma'am," I said, "come here." I said, "Come here real quick." And she's like, "What is it?" And I said, "Get in the car." Let me tell you what I did. Worst mistake I made in my life almost. Got this lady up in a doggone car, pulled out down the road. I said, "Man, what's going on?" I said, "That guy was already out there looking weird." She said, "Oh, I live in a shelter down the street, and I'm not even supposed to be out, but I snuck out because I can't stand being in there." I said, "But you're safe being in the shelter." I said, "What?" I said, once again, I was like, "You must don't know what part of town you in." She was like, "Well, blah, blah, blah." I tell this lady, I said, "Well, guess what? I'm not going to drive you back to no shelter. I'm not going back down here by the store because there's a lot of characters." I said, "I'm going to bring you over here." And I said, "You can rest up. We could sit here and talk all night, drink coffee." And I said, "I'll take you back to the shelter in the morning and let them know that some man was chasing you down out here, and that I saw you, and that I brought you to my home, and we set up to 2 o'clock in the morning, so that you were safe." Because the shelter that she stayed in, she said that if she didn't go back to the shelter, if they found out she wasn't there for bed check, they put her out. Y'all, I'm sitting up here, and I shouldn't have done this. You're right, Coco, but me being volatile, got up in there. I'm talking to this lady. She talking to me about her children she done lost and all this stuff. She says, "Well, I have a cigarette. Do you mind if I step outside and smoke the cigarette?" I said, "I don't have a problem." She goes outside my door, and I'm assuming she's smoking this so-called cigarette. Okay, she been out there about 10, 15 minutes. I'm like, how long does it take to smoke a cigarette? I know you gotta smoke it and thump it a few times, all that. So I'm like, well, maybe she's trying to get herself together. I go to my door. Why do I go to my door and see two guys sitting outside in a car? She's out there talking to them. And let me tell you what I did. And I know my phone is streaming, so you're probably gonna get these messages late. I set my tail up there. I must have shut that door and locked it and put a refrigerator, a deep freezer, a washer, and a dryer against each window in my house. And she was knocking on my door. And I said, "God, why? Why?" And she looked so vulnerable. And I'm just like, never again. So I was so scared at the time. I worked with this guy that he was a coworker. I had all this stuff up against my door. The next day, I went over there, and that was mistake number two. And told this guy, I said, "Look, I'm very afraid. I brought this homeless lady that was staying in a shelter into my home, and I trusted her. She said she wanted to go out there and smoke a cigarette, and I go out there, and she's out there with two guys." And I'm like, scared. So then I had to let this so-called coworker come and stay with me for 2 weeks, and then he turned out to be psychotic. No, that's why today, and I said, "Lord, I don't want to miss the mark because trying to help people, but like you said, don't bring nobody to your house, don't put them in your car and stuff, but still don't let nobody get killed." So it's like, what do you do? And Coco, I want to say this to you right now because the phone is streaming. I want to say to myself, what do you do when you know times are where you can't bring them to your house, you can't put them in your car, but you know somebody's life is in danger? What do you do when you can't just pull over and call the police and say, "Oh, there's a girl walking down the street, with no clothes on and all that"? Because guess what they're gonna say? The police, if you call 911, oh, another call about a prostitute walking the street. So they're not gonna be on no high alert. You know that the girl is under influence. They're in a very volatile part of town. It doesn't even matter your part of town, seeing a young woman out there stripped down with no clothes on walking, and all that, and under the influence, anybody could do whatever. But what do you do? What do you do? How do you handle it? How do you handle it when you know if you call 911, it takes 911 an hour to 2 hours to get to where you are? You can't pull over and help the girl because you don't know who's following her and watching in all kind of traps. What do you do? And how do you lay your head down that night? Like I gotta lay my head down tonight because she's been on my mind, and I see people all day, every day like that. But this girl, for some reason, was on my mind. Like I missed the mark. Like she may lose her life. What do you do? You should be able to call them and keep her in your eyesight so they will know. That's the thing where I live, Coco. We are shorthanded for police officers. So where I live, you call the police, you may as well go on and solve your own crime because by the time police get to you, the crime has happened. You don't expired, passed away, whatever. And then they got enough time to have your funeral before the police show up because they're shorthanded on police here in Dallas, Texas. Hi, try it, buy it, make it, sell it. Hello, my friend. Come on in. My phone is streaming. Coco, you said you have a good heart, so of course you're going to think about her. Thank you. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. Welcome to the chat. This is Coco. Say hello to Coco. Coco, say hello to try it, buy it, make it, sell it. Two wonderful people get to know each other. The subject is try it, buy it, make it, sell it. And you're like Coco. Coco is very vocal and hey, very intelligent, just says what it is what it is. This is a subject. I had something that happened to me earlier today. I went to a store and I happened to witness a young lady that didn't so-called fit into the neighborhood where I live. And this young lady was scantily dressed. Basically, she was a prostitute. I hate saying that word. I hate it. But basically, it was a prostitute. And where I live, there's not a lot of Caucasian people. So she stood out like a sore thumb. And everybody, like outside the store that I went to and everything, men and all that stuff was kind of looking, but it was just she stood out like a sore thumb. And what she had on was like less than even a bathing suit. And like I was telling Coco, she was under the influence of drugs or whatever. So it was obvious somebody had put her out to walk the streets over here and whatever's gonna happen. But I wanted to go to her and say, no, 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 no. You're gonna get sex trafficked. Please get out of this area. Don't go into no other areas because it don't matter what area you're in. But over here in this area, it's just known for like prostitutes and a lot of other things that shouldn't be happening. And I saw this young lady, and like I said, she stuck out like a sore thumb. But I was too afraid to try to approach her and say, "Hey, you need to not be in this area. Do you need help? Let me take you to my church." And that is my thing that me and Coco are talking about. Like Coco said, don't bring nobody to your house. And I shared with her a situation that I did have before. So try it, buy it, make it, sell it. If you're still there, what is your feelings on how do you help someone? If you are outwardly, God put them right there in your face. You can't do nothing but see them. And like I said, this young lady been on my mind ever since I left that store at about 2:45 today. How do you help someone that God put them right there in front of you, but you're afraid for your own life, you're afraid for their life, don't know if it's a setup? How do you help someone like that? And you can't just call the police because the police might not even come for 2 hours. And Coco, you said, but until she wants to change, you can get her all the help. But if she don't receive, it's nothing you can do. But you know what? Sometimes it's not about change. If it's drugs and alcoholism, it's not about the change. It's the struggle with the alcohol and the drugs, and you do want to change. And I can speak from my own, experience. You do want to change, but the alcohol, or if a person is on drugs, it is stronger than your will and overpowers your will to where it's to the point that only God can deliver you from it. And I can speak on that only because of my own experience with the alcohol. Drugs, no, I don't know. But I do know one thing. If alcohol do you like that to where you have no willpower, just like if somebody put a chocolate cake in front of your face, or a hot dog or hamburger, and you ain't ate for 3 days, and you like, I can't help myself. That's the same willpower that alcohol has. And like I said, drugs, I have no clue. But I do know that if alcohol does it to you, drugs has to be the same way. And that's my concept on that. So, you know, you can want that change, really, really want that change, but your mindset, try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You said, I honestly can't say. I would just pray for God to give me the answer. We would intervene in something that we could intervene in something that we are not ready for. There it is. We could intervene in something that we are not ready for. Coco, you said, yeah, I never had a problem with either, so I'm not gonna lie. When I see people like that, I just pray. And you said that's right. To what Try Buy It, Make It, Sell It says, we could intervene in something that we are not ready for. And guess what? That intervention could cost you your own life. Coco says you're so right. And it is right, because that's what I told Coco. I said, well, what if I pulled up and, somebody done put her out, some man or pimp or John or whatever they call sex traffickers these days. Then I pull up to try to help the girl, and then they kill me, because they like, oh no, it's someone trying to help her get out of it, so we're gonna kill them. But like Coco said, don't bring them to your house, because I'm like, what am I gonna do, Lord, if I pull over and help the girl, and some person that's done put her out like this and that's using her and selling, making her sell her body. But then I pull over and try to help, and then they try to do something to me because I'm trying to help her. And like Coco said, you can't bring that person to your house too. Then if you call 911 where I live, it takes 2 hours for the police to get here. What do? You'll know when you actually call by God to do a task, because he will make it clear. Hmm. You know what? That's kind of let me choose my words carefully. I know what you meant. That's why today I felt like I should have hey, Think Positive, come on in. Think Positive. Let me update you. My phone is streaming. Hold on. My phone is streaming, so it's probably in a delayed reaction, but it's me and Coco and um Try It, Buy It, Make It, Sell It. Very nice ladies. Come on in. Say hello to Think Positive, y'all. She's voices her opinion too, and I can't wait to see what you think. I'm gonna tell y'all what the subject is tonight, and then I gotta run to the restroom. But let me tell you what's going on. Think Positive. I had a situation today, and basically I had a lady that I went to the store. I went to the store, and I had a lady that I saw her. She was walking with like basically no clothes on. Somebody had put her out in the area that I live and was basically making her sell her body, or maybe she was doing it on her own. I don't know. But I was telling Coco that she stood out like a sore thumb, because where I live, the way she looked, she was a Caucasian female. She was down there with no clothes on, basically like less than a bikini, walking and flipping her hair and doing all this, and then everybody's staring at her because she stood out like a sore thumb. She was under the influence too. And I wanted to just say, no, young lady, no, 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 no. You can't be over here. Somebody will abduct you and sex traffic you, or, whatever, or something worse. And this is my question. I didn't know how to help her because I felt like, what if some pimp or John or whatever they call the sex traffickers these days is watching her, and I pull up and try to help her, and then they come in and do something to me. And like Coco said, don't bring no person to your house. And I shared a story with Coco that, yeah, one time I did bring a lady that was living in shelter to my house at New Year's Eve, caught up down there at the beer store, and I shouldn't have been down there again. Same doggone story like today. But how do you help someone that you see that person in a situation that you don't know how to help them, but then you feel like you missed your call for helping them? I'm gonna let y'all discuss it for a second. I'm gonna close my window and stuff and run to the restroom. So talk between yourselves. Hi, try, buy, make it, sell it. That's why we have to. That's what. Wow, Coco said the same thing. That's why we have to ask for guidance. We need wisdom for each situation. Coco said, "That's it." What you laughing at every time you say that, Coco? A beer is not bad. No, a beer is not bad unless you drink 20 like I do. Hello. Hey, I'm gonna give me 1 second. I gotta put my phone down. I gotta go shut my window because it may be some pervert or some evil, scary. Cause I'm real scared. I'm real scared. Real scared. Maybe some old pervert or some old monster looking at me right now. So I'm gonna go close my window and stuff. I'll be right back. Y'all Coco, don't start. Yeah, 20. No, the life of an alcoholic. You start out drinking one, then you say, I'm gonna have two and lay down. Then you be like, oh, three ain't gonna hurt me. Then you be like, oh, four, Lord, don't let me throw up. Then if you're at number five, you can hang it up. So five mean 20. Um, Oh, try by it, make it sell. She said, hi, think positive too. Okay, y'all, let me jump up and close my window because, like I said, it's probably some old hideous pervert out here trying to look in my window or something that's not right. So let me get up and shut my window. I'll be right back. Y'all, give me just a few seconds. I'll be right back. Okay, I hope y'all are still here. Let me read some comments. Now, see, I'm so scary that while I had to go shut my window down, I had to go put some stuff up against my door because I'm that scary. Let me read your comments. Let's see. Um, try, buy it, make it, sell it. That's why we have to ask for guidance. We need wisdom for each situation. That's the same thing that Coco said. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. Said hi, think positive. Okay. It looks like there's Coco. Try it by make it sell it and think positive. Still here? Can y'all let me know if you're still here? I had to go shut my window and put some stuff up against my door because I got scared just thinking about my own situation. Okay, Coco, you're still here. Okay, good, good. Plus my phone is streaming too, so messages coming in slow. Try by make it sell it. Okay, yes, you're still here. Okay. Think positive. Are you still here too? By the way, if you see me responding, and it says Topaz Unleashed, that's my other channel that I have. It's my family channel. I have a family channel that I have like my stuff from church and shows my family and stuff like that. So if you see me get on here respond and it shows up as Topaz Unleashed, that's my other channel too. So back to what I was talking about. In what way would you help someone that you saw in the situation, the young lady, walking and exploiting herself, but you want to help her, but you don't know how to help her because you don't know who's watching you and who's watching them. But then you get home later and you feel like you missed the mark. And that what if you see that person on the news that night deceased, but you saw that person and that you could have helped them. And that's my question. Like today, I felt like I missed the mark, but I did not know how to help this lady, and I just didn't know what to do. It was just like God had put it on my heart and was like, do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. Help this young lady. You could save a life today, but I didn't know what to do or how to do it. You said the world is so messed up. I wish it wasn't this hard to help people. And that's my problem with it. How do you help people that you come across these days that you can't? It's okay. Let me give you another situation. What if you are witnessing a domestic violence situation? You see somebody beating a mess out of somebody, as we used to say, beating a mess out of them. But you know, if you walk up on that person, they could kill you. What do you do? What do you do? That's the scary part. It's like you want to intervene and you want to help people. You're supposed to help people, but how can you do it in a way that you don't lose your life too? Or are you supposed to go on and lose your life? That's my question. Call the police. That's why I said sometimes police don't get there in time. You're witnessing these situations right there as they're happening, which are most of the time, like today when a girl walking, she right there. By the time you call the police or whatever, she's gone or somebody done got her in the car. And all you can tell the police is, oh, I saw her get up into a red car. Oh, well, how long ago? 12 minutes ago, because it took the police 12 minutes or, an hour, 12 minutes to get there. That's what I'm saying. What do you do in those situations? I know you say you're not volunteering to die, but let me ask you this. How would you feel if you saw that person, you had the opportunity to go ahead and help that person, but you didn't because you didn't know what to do and you saw them on the news that night? How would you handle that in your soul? And that's my problem, because with this young lady today, just seeing her, I just felt like I missed the mark, like I should have done something. But by the time I would have called the police and all of that, and that's exactly what happened. She actually got into the car with somebody, the white SUV that I saw. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You said I have had situations where I should have intervened, but I didn't. Still haunts me to this day. Then there were times I did intervene. It was dangerous, but I did. Wow. See. You know what? True story. I just told Coco, the lady that I met 4 years ago. It was a homeless lady, and this guy was out there trying to do whatever to her outside the store. And I finally got the lady away from the guy, and I brought the lady to my house, which I shouldn't have done. But I did intervene because I didn't want to see the guy do nothing to her. And then she asked me to go outside and smoke a cigarette. She's standing outside by somebody's car, and then I got scared and I locked my door and put stuff up against it because I'm like, oh my God, I'm trying to keep her. Just like you said, it try by make it sell it. There's times you did intervene and it was dangerous. So it's like, darn, what you do? You let somebody die? Something happened to them? What do you do? Think positive. You said call the police, and like I told Coco, you call the police, but it may be too late. And then think positive. You said why? Put yourself at risk. You never know what they did. That's true, but you know what I say? And Coco, you said that's why I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is my thing. If I was out there going through something, and I may not be living my best life. I may be living a messed up life out there on alcohol or drugs or whatever's going on, disobeying the Lord, but I would still want somebody to help me. And like this young lady today, it just seemed like if I could have helped her, got her into the car, took her down to that doggone church, and we put some clothes on her, and then they take her. Of course, they would have had to detox her and all that because she was high as a kite on whatever she was on. It just seemed like, God, if I could just get her without somebody shooting me and drive straight to this doggone church, which is 10 minutes away, we put some clothes on her and then call the local hospital to come and send an ambulance to get her and take her to where she could get detoxed and save her life versus seeing her on the news, dead. And I would want somebody to do that for me, even if I messed up. Think positive. You said, oh, why put yourself at risk? You never know what they did. Coco, you said, that's what I'm saying. Coco, you said, I hate seeing people like that. You know what? I look at my own life and I made bad choices because of alcohol. And there were times that I did some stuff in my younger day and not so much younger day, older day, still screwed up because alcohol's doggone devil. Alcohol is a devil with some pissy draws on. Alcohol is the devil with some pissy draws on. That's how alcohol will make you do some doggone crap that good doggone well. Now now I'm gonna make it funny at first, but I'm gonna bring it home to reality. Alcohol will make you, if you 5'4", go up in there and fight somebody that's 6'7" and weigh 300 pounds, but you think you can whoop them. Alcohol will make you do some of the stupidest things in life to where you feel like, what in the heck was I ever living thinking? Then the next day you gotta wake up, wonder why you got beat up the night before. Then you gotta wonder, what the heck is this on? Who clothes this is I got on? You got out there, first of all, you got beat up, got drunk at the club or at a house party. They pissed you up out of there. You got beat up. Then after you got beat up, peed on yourself. Then they threw you on up out of there like that. Okay, come on now. But this is my thing, and I'm playing and making it, into a joke and stuff. But let me tell you, I was a fighter all my life, and like when I got drunk, I fought men, women, cats, dogs. I whooped every animal on the street. I whooped men, women. It didn't even matter. And then like people would be like, they would get caught off guard because they would not be expecting that. But that alcohol, the next day, my family would be like, do you realize what you did last night? And you're never going out with us again, or you going to rehab. If I tell you the stuff that I did, and then I would have the nerve to have an attitude and be like, no, I just drunk too much, and then them people was picking on me because I thought the people was picking on me. But if I tell you alcohol, and I can't even imagine, like I said, drugs, that's the worst doggone thing that you ever want to do. And I don't make light of it. Like let's say it like this. I don't like to make light of it because it's serious, but it will make you do some of the worst doggone stuff. I would go out and be right now public ambassador for kids, young adults, whatever you do. Don't even drink socially. Don't go on spring break and turn up no beer. Because some people are susceptible to becoming alcoholic. It ain't even worth your doggone life. And like our pastor said, a slow suicide. Let me read some comments. It's me, Coco. Every time you say that, I still can't believe you used to drink. No, it's not used to drink. It's still drink. It's still drink. Those times when you say I'm looking sick, yeah, okay. Think positive. Stop playing God. You're not a superhero. Coco says, right. She has to be safe too. Coco, think positive says, Coco, you feel me? Coco says, all the way. Think positive. I'm not gonna risk my life for nobody. You know what? Let me ask y'all something then. This gonna be deep. Would you want somebody to risk their life for you if you got out there and just made a mistake? If you got out there, you can't control yourself because of the weakness of the mind and the flesh of the body. You got out there and made a mistake. You wasn't trying to, but because you were disobedient to God, you had the weakness of the flesh, but you made a mistake. Would you want somebody to come to you and help you? And I would, because I've been there and done that. I've seen people that they're the best people when they're sober. And, if that alcohol spirit or whatever get on them, then they turn into a different person. But I'll be like, no, that's not them, because I know they're not like that when they're sober. So I try to go to them and help them. So would you want someone, if you know good doggone well that you're not like that when you sober, or even if you are, to come to your aid and say, hey, please still help my soul, or just leave you on a by and let you just go on and whatever happened to you? Let me read some comments. Okay. Think positive. You said, and alcohol will make you do some crazy thing. You sleep with people you don't know. Yep. Pick on people for no reason. Yep. Coco, you said, now I don't drink hard liquor. I can't handle it, so I wouldn't know how to handle it. Praise God on that. You said, I pray about everything. You know what? Thank God. Because I'm going to tell you, think positive. I'm going to go out on a limb because we are being, honest in the stream. Would you like to share with Coco and the stream like anything that you have been through? You don't have to. I share my story because for me, if I ever get up on, no, not no if, when I'm up on here and ain't acting right, they'll be like, well, she in her struggle. We know someone right with her, and to pray for me. And it does say in James chapter 5 and 16, if your brother comes to you and confesses their sins, you ought to pray for them. And I put it out there because I don't ever want somebody to get up on there and be like, well, she was fine yesterday or she was fine earlier. Now, what's going on with her now? Hey, that's why I put it out there, because I'm still in my struggle. And to be perfectly honest, I want people to pray for me because I know that helps with my deliverance. And think positive. If you don't mind, I want you to share. Now, think positive. You watched my video, how I started drinking, how I became an alcoholic. If you would like to share when you were in your struggle days, it would be a blessing. If you want to share, just talk about it. If you don't, that's fine too. And, just be honest and be like, I don't want to talk about that. Let me read some comments. Coco, you said, I pray about everything. Think positive. You said, I've done some embarrassing things. I'm ashamed of a lot. I did. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. No. 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 Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You said, I was an alcoholic years ago for 11 years. My grandmother on my dad's side was an alcoholic too. Coco, you said you tell on yourself the devil has nothing to hold over your head, right? Think positive, you said, because you are putting everyone around you in harm's way. That's not fair. Think positive says no. You know what? Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You said that 11 years. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's when you lost your children's father of cancer. Let me tell you something, baby girl. Let me tell you something. And I ain't gonna cry. I am weak. You go through some stuff in your life. Nobody can be a judge or a juror. Nobody can tell us how we are to survive. We may have our different vices, but first of all, God loves us, and we may deal with things to cope with them in different ways. Some people may be on alcohol, drugs, or pills, or go eat an extra pie, or use sex as coping mechanism, all that. Let me tell you something. God knows his children, and God loves his children. And what I want to say about it is that when we can't come to the forefront and talk about it in front of others without being judged, then that's a problem because we all have something in our lives that we have dealt with at one particular time. Like I said, maybe alcohol, drugs, overeating, lying, or whatever may come in your life. But God does deliverance too. And I'm gonna tell you something, honey. I'll never be ashamed of the way God made me because everything I was meant to go through in my life, whether it be a hardship or an embarrassment or a lesson learned, I will never take it back. Because I used to ask God, well, why me, God? Nobody in my family drink or even smoke a cigarette. Why me? Especially at my age, still going through. But God is saying, why? Because I gave that to you, and that's going to be your testimony. That's going to be, and I do not believe in judging anybody for what you've been through and what you have used to try to make it through your day, because none of us can say, only God is the judge and the juror, and he does not judge like we do as humans. And I commend you for just being a person and strong, and by the way that you're still alive. A lot of people don't even live through any kind of addiction. Doesn't matter what that addiction is. Let me read some comments. Think positive. You said alcohol make you do some crazy things. You sleep with people you don't know. Pick on people. Yeah, okay, I read that one. Coco, you said you tell on yourself the devil has nothing to hold over your head. Think positive because you are putting everyone around you in harm's way. That's not fair at all. Think positive. Said no. Coco, you said absolutely. That's right. Um, I got a little emotional. Give me 1 minute to get myself together. Let me step away. Give me about a 30 second. How do they say that when you're gonna do a commercial? And now for an intermission, give me 30 seconds because I get emotional and I have to like be crying over stuff because, oh Lord have mercy, Jesus. I just don't like to see nobody hurt, and people are hurt and they go through stuff and they ain't got nobody to even tell who they hurt because you're gonna be doggone judged. Give me a minute. Let me get myself together and I'll be right back. Just give me about 30 seconds to step away and get myself together. No, I am an emotional person. I'm gonna tell you the truth, because I don't like to see people hurt. I don't like to see people hurt. I don't like to see people hurt no matter what it is. And that just messes me up. That takes me back, way back when I was a child and all that. You see people hurt and bullied and stuff. Give me about 30 seconds to get myself together. A brief intermission, as I must say, and I'm hoping nobody leaves the chat because I do know that there is healing in the Word of God. I know that there is healing. We learn not to judge people, and it can be me today and you tomorrow. Not necessarily so. May have never experienced something negative or had to deal with something negative in a different kind of way, but it can show enough happen. Okay, Coco, don't leave. Think positive. Don't leave. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. Don't leave. Give me a 30 seconds to get myself together and run to the restroom. Again, I did sit up there and drink some doggone beer. That's why I was down at the doggone store. Got caught up seeing this young lady. Whoo, Lord, walking these streets down there myself, trying to feed my own, addiction of beer and stuff. And I said, Lord, every time I go down to a doggone store, I got to see something. Give me just a second, y'all, to run to the restroom, and please don't leave. Thank you so much for the respect. I heard my phone ring. I'm gonna have to ignore it. All right, let me check these comments. I heard my phone ring. I knew that would happen too. Okay, are y'all still there? Is anyone still there? I know that took longer. You know what? When you get older too, and you know I'm in my 50s, your bladder, that bladder be getting my like I'm 50 something years old, 53. Doggone bladder's about 70. Give y'all a good laugh. I'm like, dog, Lord, now if I'm 53, I'm like, why my bladder 70 something? I be up y'all about 5 times a night. By the time I get sleep, my bladder be like, get up. Like that commercial that they show where they show the little bladder and the lady is out there at the park trying to have a picnic and the bladder get up out of hand. My bladder's out of control. I be like, bladder, no, you know better. All right, let me read some comments. I'll check to see who called me in a minute. Try by make it, sell it. You're here. Okay, me. Hello, my sweet, beautiful friend. Coco, are you there? Or Think Positive, are you there too? I'm asking so that I can address you. It looks like I lost somebody. I can't tell who. Let's see. I think I may have lost Think Positive. Maybe she'll come back in. I'm not sure. Or it may be Coco. I can't tell. Okay, try it by make it, sell it. I don't know if you ever watched my video on how I became an alcoholic, but Coco, hey, all right. Let me give y'all a funny story. It ain't no funny story, but when I started drinking, the way I started drinking, I was 13 years old. And my parents were very, very, very strict. And so my older sister is 4 years older than me. So my parents were strict and they were like, well, you can't go out on no date with no young boy, but the boy can come to the house, once we turn 16. So my older sister was 16 and she could so-called take company, as we called it, my dad and them. And my job, like the way my mom's house was built, we had a house like it was like long. You could walk up and down the corridor. So my dad was like, well, you go on and walk down that hallway, and if you catch them up in there kissing and stuff or holding hands, you come let me know so I can shoot this young boy. My daddy wasn't playing either. I was like, okay, daddy, no problem. And no joke, y'all, I was walking down, up and down there, going to the bathroom, back and all this sort of stuff. But all jokes aside, my dad was like, walk up and down there, and if you see them holding hands or kissing, you let me know so I can get him up out of here. Because we were raised that you didn't kiss no boy, you didn't hold no hands, and you most certainly better not have no doggone sex with him. You stayed a virgin until you were wed, a wife. And oh, I was all in. I was like, yep, okay, daddy, I'm going up and down, walking up and down. And finally one day I caught my sister and her boyfriend holding hands, and I was like, I'm going to tell it. And her boyfriend said, well, come here. He's like, you got some Kool-Aid? Your mom got some Kool-Aid in there? And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, go get you some Kool-Aid. And so I went and got me a little cup of Kool-Aid. And he said, hold on a second. So he goes out to the trunk of his car and comes back. And he was like, put a cap full of this up in your Kool-Aid. And I like, for our household, we had to read books. We had to read about 10,000 books every summer. Like, we didn't have no TVs in our room. True story. The only TV was in the living room. And my mom and dad watched that TV. And we were not allowed to, go down in no room watching no TV and all that old stuff. You did your homework, did your studies, then you went up for about an hour or so and watched TV with the family, whatever they was watching, like Gunsmoke, Little House on the Prairie, Heat of the Night, stuff like that back in the day. And then you went to bed. So he told me, well, hey, take this, put this off in your Kool-Aid, a cap full. So I went on voluntarily to bed and read about 20 books in one night. The crazy part about it was my books came to life. I already had a vivid imagination, but my books came to life that night when I took that first doggone drink. Didn't even know what the heck I was drinking, and come to find out, I was drinking 100 proof liquor, like real liquor, the kind that they made in the distillery. And My book came to life. I was reading my Nancy Drew and Hardy Boy book. Y'all probably don't know nothing about that one. But I said, ooh, what you say? I could visualize my book. So from then on, he brought me, yes, try buy, make it, sell it. He brought me a little old bitty bottle, $2 bottle of corn whiskey. You do, Coco? All right. You know who they are? Well, honey, I read all them books and all kind of other books. He would bring me a little bitty bottle of corn whiskey that sold for $2 back in the day. And my pay was go in there, put your cap full in your Kool-Aid or your orange juice, lay up and read your book. And I was good. Then when I messed up, I was a cheerleader. And I took it to school with me. And I was like, y'all, we can really cheer if we get out here. I was like, get y'all a cap full of this. We out there cheerleaders. And where I grew up, it was mostly Caucasian. Like out of my classmates of 96, it was only like about 12 African American people. So we used to have what they call these coon dog punch parties. So we get down there, we had a keg. A keg was the size of a barrel like that's about maybe 4 feet tall, full of beer. And then we were so young we couldn't get liquor. Well, guess who brought liquor to the party? Because I had been exposed to it. I bought the liquor, corn whiskey. Guess what I started doing? Selling it. Graduated from high school, went on to college. Next thing you know, selling it in doggone college. Y'all, if I tell y'all my life, it'd be like Ike and Tina when you watch that Ike and Tina thing. You like, I can't believe none of that. Y'all, I was down there. My parents, well, my dad is deceased now, but my mom don't know this story to today. Y'all, I was running that bootlegging that liquor, that 100% grain alcohol to college and running it and making good doggone money when I was in college. And when it caught up with me was when I left Tyler, Texas, and actually ended up moving to Dallas, Texas. Well, no, first of all, nope, let me get it right. Came up to Dallas, no, actually Plano, Texas first. Joined the United States military, went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, and those guys were like, we have never seen a woman outdrink any of us because I went in as a PFC. And all that meant was I had a 2-year associate's degree when I went into the military. So I went in as a private first class. And those guys were like, we have never seen a woman outdrink us. Because, we would go to the local, military bar and stuff. And they'd be turning up all these shots, and all this. I'd be like, shots? That's like water to me, because I had been drinking since I was 13. And long story short, went on through all that. But when it caught up with me, y'all, got to be an older adult, got married, had my daughter, and went through a doggone divorce from the first man that I had ever had sex with, married him, etc. Only child, living and all that. And it broke me down. And I actually was 26 years old when that happened to me. And I turned to alcohol, and it was no longer fun. It was a coping mechanism for me, to the point that one day one of my coworkers was like, what are you doing over there for lunch? And y'all, I was like 118 pounds. Now I'm only 5'4", so that's no big deal. But she was like, what are you doing over there? We're having lunch. And I had a little old bitty flask, and I was turning up. And she was like, no. And one day she just knocked it out of my hand. She's like, what are you doing? And y'all, I was going to work, working a good job, work for the government. Had got on for the government, actually worked for the government for 17 years. Yeah, I was going up in there working every day, could not tell. And my friend was like, no, what are you doing to yourself? And I was just like, I can't help it. That's when it turned into a pivotal point of being negative for me. And ever since that happened, it was just that on and off thing. And to this day, which has now turned into, where I'm 53 years old. But let me tell you something, by the grace of God, I know that I know the Lord. And let me tell you why. God is so good. And I have to tell this testimony because there was times, y'all, that I sat there and I wouldn't have the money for the alcohol, but I wanted the alcohol, and I would be like, Lord, why me? Please let me just be a living testimony to tell people don't do it. And that's what I try to do now. I make all the fun and games and jokes and stuff. But let me tell you something. It's not funny. I tell any child, young boy or girl, even recreational, don't turn up no alcohol to your lips and don't you put any drug in your body because you never know how Satan will turn his sorry tail around and use it on you in a different way. And I'm an advocate. And my thing is I use jokes and stuff in comedy, as a clutch because I don't know what else to do sometimes, especially like if I'm going through something. But let me tell you something. If I could be an advocate right now and travel this world, high schools and junior highs, especially with the suicides, the bullying, I would tell any child, don't you ever touch alcohol or drugs, even for recreational. Don't even try it no first time. It's nothing but evil. Evil. Because it does nothing but strip you of your mind and your body and your soul. Period. And it's not worth it. You don't It's like our pastor said, you have a slow suicide. If you're still there, let me know so that I can address you. But like our pastor said, it's a slow suicide. He said some people, when they commit suicide, they go take pills, put a gun to their head, jump off of a, freeway. But when you do drugs or alcohol and over abuse it, it's a slow suicide. So you don't die right off. And guess what else? Your body suffers from it. And I don't know why God had me to speak on this tonight, but maybe it was for a reason for somebody. It started out as just seeing this young lady walking down these streets over here with no clothes on in the middle of the day, under the influence. Any kind of evil person can get her. And I felt like I did not do enough. And it's like, what do we do? Do we try to help this woman at our own expense of losing our life? And especially these days, that most certainly will happen. Or do we just watch and wait till we see her on the news? And that's a hard thing to do. Let me read some comments. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You said it's sad to watch someone you love to go through it. And Coco, you said never know who needs to hear it. You're right. You know what, Coco? It sounds like, like because you've never been through the struggle or had that struggle, you can't really have like any validation with it. But you never know when God may put someone in your life, especially someone you love, a close friend, a relative, a confidant, or anybody. And if you ever live and see them go through it, it's almost like you going through it yourself, because like for what my family has seen me go through and they worry about me, you'll never know, especially when they saw me work a good government job for 17 years, was in the military and blah, blah, blah. They worry about me daily and hourly, especially my child that's now 33. And she worries about her mother. I would never tell her that I know, but I know she does. My own mother that's almost 80. They worry about me. Sometimes they can't lay their heads down at night because they like, we hope that, Debbie, my real name is Debbie, not Deborah, Debbie, Debbie. They're like, we wonder if Debbie's all right over there. And I'm telling you a true story. My mom actually just bought me a burial policy. How you feel about that? How that make you feel? And it was like a reality check for myself, because I'm like, I could die from alcoholism tonight. I could lay here in this bed and die from it. Now, one thing I don't do, I don't drink and drive. Most certainly not. If I'm drinking, I'm here at this house, but it touched home base. When my mom told me a few days ago, she was like, what's the correct spelling of your name and how's it on your driver's license? Because I'm trying to see if I was to get a burial policy on you, so I could get on up out of here. I've seen people die from alcoholism, from bleeding internally, throwing up blood and everything. They on one day they are on intervention, and 2 days later they say, oh, by the way, this person passed away. If it is, so be it. And that's why I pray to God that if only one person sees this broadcast, then I'm okay with it. It is what it is, you know. God has to use somebody to help somebody else. And like I said, I'll tell anybody. It may strike you, yourself, or your family. Let me read some comments. Coco, you said your dad, and it was bad. Now it's like it never happened. He's totally free from drinking. That's the thing too. God can deliver. Sometimes he delivers, sometimes he don't. He lets you go on and die in your sin, and that's what I try to do the best I can, because sometimes God will let you die in your sin, you know. But then again, sometimes, and I've heard many people say, "Oh, I put it down and I never touched it again," and the smell of it and all that is repulsive. But it's just different strokes for different strokes for different folks, and also it is the will of God, what He has for us. And I'm like this: I can pray about it all day, but I can't fight it in the flesh, you know. But what I do is I stand up and I try to help others, just like when I saw this lady today. She's out there walking, under the influence, young girl, and any kind of old pervert get her and do any kind of old thing to her she's never seen again. But I'm like, Lord, you know that I know personally. It'd be different if I didn't know. It'd be different if I'm on the outside looking in saying, oh, well, hey, I'm just seeing this drug addict or alcoholic walking down the street half nude, a young woman. But I know from experience, because I deal with that myself. And that's why I feel like I dropped the ball today to help this lady, because the Lord is like, you know yourself what you do and how you act and acted when you were under the influence, and still do. But you're going to let another young girl walk down these doggone streets, and the enemy is out there like a roaring lion, and you ain't going to do nothing about it. But you sound trying to say you out there preaching the gospel and helping others. No, ma'am, and no, sir. And that's what touched my heart today, seeing this young lady, because she looked like she had absolutely nobody in her life. I'm telling you, this girl had a stroll on her like, I don't have anybody. Nobody loves me. My family has disowned me. I'm on these drugs now, and I got to keep on taking these drugs, to keep from being sick. And I don't give a damn what happens to me. So what if I die? I'm telling you, as I watched that girl walk, I saw that all over her, and I said, no, Lord, no. There's got to be a way she can get help. I said, if I could get her in the car and get her down to my church. That's all I kept saying was like, Lord, let me get her and get her down to my church. I said, if I can get her in the car and nobody shoot us on the way. And I said, the church is 6 minutes away. I can get her to my church, and I said I can run up in there real quick and get some of the sisters to get her some clothes to put on her body. And I said, and then we can wrap her up and get up in there, and she'll be safe. But I didn't do that. Coco, you said I want to help, but I let God lead me, so I won't mess up. Try it, buy it, make a sell it. You said it's so sad for these young people. Yes, it is. It's sad. It's sad for young people and everybody. I even be feeling like, try it, buy it, make it, sell it. When you did that video to where, you said our younger generation is touched, that's who gonna be messed up. That's who gonna be messed up. Our younger generation. But I want to ask y'all, before I close out the chat, what do you think? Coco and try it, buy it, make it, sell it. I'm so thankful again that I have women that are very vocal and verbal in this live stream. What do you think that we can do individually and collectively to help our communities and our young people these days? Any kind of way. It doesn't have to have anything to do with drugs or anything like that. How can we help, just basically help our fellow Christian brothers and sisters, or Christian brothers and sisters or not, just to make it through society? Coco, you said keep doing what you're doing. What can you do personally? I mean, like, what do you think, like, well, actually, what do you do personally? What do you, Coco, and what do you do, try it, buy it, make it, sell it? Other than, encourage others, what do y'all do personally? Coco, you said we have to tell God's goodness no matter what. You right. That's it. That's it. And try it by and make it sell it. I know I watched your last videos and you most certainly put it down to where you were like, hey, it was just plain and simple. What we have to do is just stand up for our young people and you put it out there what we need. You know, we need prayer, y'all. If we don't have our own strength to do it, Coco, you said I try to live the peace. Hold on. Coco, you said I try to live the peace I'm given and people can't understand it. Try it by it, make it sell. You said I try to feed people, girl, and help homeless people. There it is right there. And I have a passion for homeless people too because I've been there, done that too. When I was out there in my alcoholic struggle and got out there and messed up and had 3 or 4 cars and owned 2 or 3 houses and was sitting up out there in a car, didn't have no food to eat, had to go up in Walmart and get a can of Vienna sausages because I done asked a stranger for $1 and could get me 3 cans of potted meat or 2 cans of Vienna sausages and then had sodium filling up in my body and fluid and all that. Been there, done all that too. And then sitting up out there embarrassed because I know that my parents that raised me like that, college educated, been to the military, worked for the government, own my own business, all this so-called great stuff. Same thing. Sit up out there homeless. Watch the other homeless people. Let me tell you something. I met so many fabulous homeless people. I met police officers, veterans, doctors, mothers, sisters, and brothers that they just checked out for whatever reason. Well, it wasn't all alcoholics and drugs. Some people, I had this one guy. I'm sitting there talking to him at the bus stop because I had lost my car. And the guy sitting there talking to me, he was like, yes, young lady, sometimes we just have to not let some things take over our soul. And I'm looking at him like he's speaking wisdom. It was something different about him. He told me that his wife left him, married his best friend, and that he checked out. Left a good job, had everything going for him. He said he couldn't even handle it. He said he couldn't look at her or the man. And he said he just checked out. His family didn't even know where he was. He's sitting up out there, y'all, with a scruffy beard, old clothes on. The man was sitting up out there. Come on now. The lost people is what I call people. And I have a heart for people when I see people. They don't have no food. They don't have no sustenance, especially children, pregnant women, men, African American men, or any men that are out there trying to see about their families. You don't have nowhere to go. That hurts me. Homelessness, people that are hungry, children, pregnant women, elderly don't have nothing. Ain't no Meals on Wheels pulling up. There's nothing and nobody that even care. And I can truly say I have seen it and lived it for myself. It may not have been for a long period of time, but it was long enough to know that I already know. Try it by, make it sell it. When you did that video, I already knew where you was coming from. Coco, you said that's what I do. I buy food and give money, whatever I can do. Try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You said, wow, you really went through it. I would love to see people mentor at least one young person in their community. I used to work in foster care group homes. Some kids have no one. You know what? What I went through wasn't jack. You know why? Because for number one, I had a life before I went homeless. And that's where God had blessed me. If it had not been for the grace of God, and I have to give this testimony and get ready to sign off of here. I grew up in a family to where my dad worked on the railroad. My mom was a school teacher and still teaches to this day, and she's 78 years old. All 4 of their children got at least 1 degree. If you're privileged, like my sisters, they're doctors and lawyers and all that. Everybody in the family, you went out there, you worked hard, and you got those degrees, and you worked hard, and you worked on a good job. My dad always said all his children will work a better job than he ever worked, and they would never dig any man's ditch, and if they did, they would dig it and get paid well for it. All of us went to college, even all of our children have, they're lawyers and dental hygienists and own their own business and stuff. My dad always says, whatever we did, y'all gonna do better. And we were forced to do better. We had to make good grades. We had to be stand-up people. And let me tell you something. When I went through my homeless period of time, if it had not been the grace of God that had already shown me that, yes, I grew up in a household that we worked hard, we had food in our mouth, military, they show enough show you how to survive, off of nothing. If it had not been for God, but I'm thankful and grateful, I would never take it back. I don't look back at it at the time I was going through it. Oh yeah, I was pissed off and going through it with an alcohol addiction too. And I'm like, Lord, are you kidding me? An educated person had this, that, and all that. That stuff don't mean nothing. Because guess what? Some of that stuff is of the world. Cars, houses, all that kind of stuff, bank account, plenty of money. Some of that is all of the world. When God break you down and strip you down to the bare minimum or minimal, all that don't matter. Like I got to the point I said, I don't care, Lord, I need to survive. But I'm so thankful and still thankful to God to this day for everything that I went through. And I will go through it again. And that's why I don't take nothing for granted. That's why when I make my videos and you see me cooking things of bologna and things like, whatever, I take what I have because and then I take and share what I have. That's why I always say, go out there and share and help other people. That homelessness and people that are hungry, especially kids, pregnant women, and elderly. Come on now. Let me read some notes. Try it by make it sell. You said, okay, I read that. Coco, you said, man, you really have a story to tell. Try it by make it sell. No, you know what? It ain't really like it's not a story that some people have gone through. Think about the people that they started out with humble beginnings, meaning they ain't had nothing. You didn't have no family structure. You didn't have no food on the table. You didn't have no education because of life circumstances that you ain't had nothing. I was privileged, still am privileged because God gave me the know how to get up. Once He like brought me back, He said, "Hey, you can do this." You can make this work and you can get out there and help other people. Think about our children and our people that don't have nothing and came from humble beginnings to where they didn't have nothing to start out with. And we see our young men and women out here being in gangs, doing all kind of negative stuff. Guess what? They ain't got nobody. Mom and daddy didn't have nobody. They ain't got nobody. So guess what? You got a whole generation of people that ain't got nobody. And then they don't know because they don't have anybody to help them. And they got to go down there and get a candy bar or rob somebody for something to eat or drink, because they ain't had nobody. We're the privileged ones. If we can sit up here right now on YouTube or be up on a phone or all that kind of stuff, think of the children that don't have diddly squat, that they out there trying to make it as we speak. And I'm not talking about no 15 and 16 years old. I'm talking 5 and 6 years old. I've seen that for myself too. Little children where they form families of their own, 15, 16-year-olds out there homeless on the streets, and they got 5 and 6 years olds. I'm like, where y'all parents at? I don't know where my mama is. I think my mama in jail. Well, where your mom and daddy at? I'm looking at them like, what the? I don't know. I ain't seen my mama. I don't know. This my brother. And I'm like, oh, this your brother. I'm like, where y'all mama at? He's like, no, I'm not their real brother. We like street brother. You just don't know what I saw. That's why I know that God will use you and show you some stuff. So when the time comes, you got to help others, y'all. That's why I be telling you, don't waste a second, a minute, an hour of your day without telling God you love him, because we sitting up here right now living in some great and blessed times and we don't even know it. But try by it, make it so that you know it because you worked in a foster care group homes. And like you said, some kids ain't got no doggone body. They don't have nobody, and that is scarring to their mind. They traumatized as children, and they ain't got no doggone body. Nothing, nobody to call home. Well, hey, mama, I'll be home for spring break. Blah, 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 holiday. They ain't got no doggone body. Imagine that. Put yourself in that spot. Oh boy. Y'all, we got to do better. We gotta do better as people. No matter what struggles or what be going on in our own lives, and I'll be thanking God for the struggle because it shows us that what we going through, that ain't nothing compared to another human being. Try by it, make it sell it. You said that makes me so sad. I saw girls in a foster group home calling home, begging their grandmothers to come off crack so they could go home. They grandmother now. I don't know what to say. Big and their grandmother come off crack. Not their mother, their grandmother. I take a deep breath on that right there. Some stuff I can deal with, and some stuff I can't because I'm a visual person. And hmm, yeah, that's a lot. You know what? I'm gonna say a prayer and close out because sometimes when I get too emotional and stuff, I can't handle it. Right now, dear Lord Jesus, I don't know who may be listening out here, but the words that we have spoken through this chat tonight, that it may not be for us, it may be for someone else, Lord. It may be a combination of us or for someone else, Lord. Lord, right now, our concern may be for the coronavirus, Lord, but you brought other ones before this, such as SARS and Ebola and everything else. And you brought us on through, Lord, in your own special way. But right now, Lord, you're asking for us to take a look at within and that we don't take nothing for granted, Lord. You've given us the tools necessary, Lord, to get out there from our minds, bodies, and souls to help others from homelessness, hungriness, drugs, alcohol, people just needing someone to be able to turn to, Lord. May we not forget about our mission on this earth, Lord. It is not about us, Lord. It is not about us, Lord. Where we living, how we living, what we doing, and all that. It's only what we do for the Lord. May we not miss out on an opportunity, Lord Jesus, to be able to get in here and do the right thing for you. We may not always get it right, Lord, because we are human, but we asking you right now, Father, that you help us to get it right for even at least one person, Lord. Even at least one person. We thank you, Lord, for the opportunity again, Lord, for who you are and what you're going to do in our lives and others too, because it starts with one person and it turns into a whole domino effect, Lord. Help us not be afraid, Lord. We may think sometimes that we are not equipped to do your work, Lord. But if we think that, Lord, if you can use Simon, who became Peter, Saul, who became Paul, so many others in the Bible, Lord, that you changed their names, Lord. You even used Rahab, that was a prostitute, Lord, and you saved her whole family. She didn't get a new name, but you still used her, Lord. You can use any of us, Lord, as long as we have the open heart, the open hand, the open mind, Lord. We thank you right now. We thank you, Lord. We may not even wake up to see the break of dawn, but what you've already done right now, Lord, where you put one or two together in agreement that you can still use us, Lord, somehow, some way. We don't even have to have a dollar to our names, that you can still use us, Lord, because we can use our voice and that we can use our prayers. And we thank you again, Lord. May someone hear the messages or message of tonight and someone be saved. And may we do our best too, Lord. We thank you again, Lord, for using us as your good stewards. And may we not miss out on an opportunity to help someone. If we do, you give us a chance to make it up, Lord. We thank you again for what you've already done. And we thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and sign out on here tonight. I enjoyed, wow. Try it by it, make it sell it. You said you can imagine her whole family was on crack. I mean, you know what? That's a hard pill to swallow right there. Everybody on crack, who gonna be the one that can bring you out of something if you ain't in your right mind? Everybody on crack. Can't nobody who gonna bring somebody out? You know what? Well, I love you ladies and I'm hmm. Got a lot to think about tonight. Got a lot to pray about. Um, if you want to come up with some type of challenge where we can try to help someone somehow, some way, and I know that try it, buy it, make it, sell it. You're very good at that. We can try to come up with something that can do somebody some good somehow, some way. I love you too. Love you too so much. God brings us together. He give us, I always say, sisters from different mothers. If y'all can think of anything, the way we can come up with some type of organization to where we can help others some type of way, then by all means, let's interact on it and do it. All right, you guys. I pray that you enjoy your families tonight. Thank you, Coco. Yeah, both y'all are like savvy ladies, very intelligent. If y'all can come up with something and let me know, to where we can come up with something where we can help our communities and our children and everybody. Really? Oh wow, it's another channel challenge. See, I wouldn't have known that. I tell you what, if you can be the ambassador to let me know, and some kind of way we can help some people. I don't care if it's nothing but a prayer line, a chat line on YouTube, or we donate somewhere to help our homeless, our hungry, our children, or just do something I don't know. Just y'all please let me know, and let's come together, and we can help some people out there prayerfully. All right, I thank y'all so much, and I love you all both so much. All right. I hope you have a great night and be blessed.